kita punya latihan soal. Ya, untuk latihan soal itu belum selesai semua, kita akan lanjutkan, tapi sebelumnya saya akan membagi dulu dengan kalian. Ini. The material, waktu itu kalau tidak salah kita baru membahas soal itu sampai nomor 8 kalau nggak salah. Sorry. Nomor ada yang kelewat ini nomornya ya, ada yang kehapus. 6, 7, 8. Baru sampai nomor 5 kalau nggak salah dulu tuh. Kita akan bahas dulu this one about strategies to improve our reading comprehension. Basically, when we are doing UTBK test, it will be about reading comprehension. So probably you also wonder how to improve your reading comprehension skills, because sometimes when we do an exercise, a practice in reading, it seems quite complicated, especially when you're doing the academic reading text. Yeah. Now, the topic questions come up in UTBK are usually these 11 types of questions. The first one is comprehend main ideas, of course, yeah. So try to get what the text is about. Of course, to be able to do this one, to nail this one, you need to have lots of reading practice. And then while you read a paragraph or a text or a book in English, always do the extensive reading. Extensive reading means that you try to ask questions based on what you are reading, and also try to get like to paraphrase what about. Jadi jangan lupa itu selalu bertanya dalam diri sendiri gitu ya ketika kita baca. Do the extensive reading, jangan hanya baca udah, tapi do the creative thinking, the critical thinking skills. Jadi kita tanya ini isinya apa, kontennya tentang apa, main idea-nya apa, ini referring ke apa gitu. Jadi while we read, so to everything that we read itu coba bertanya gitu ya. So do the critical thinking skills. Jangan sampai kita baca udah gitu ya. So you don't do the critical thinking. And then the second one is about restating phrases and sentences. Jadi intinya seringnya jawaban yang benar itu bentuknya akan berupa paraphrasing. We restate what the writer is talking about. Jadi mungkin temanya adalah ini, tapi jawabannya berupa restating. Gitu, bentuknya itu mengungkapkan kembali dengan bahasa kita sendiri. For this one, the appropriate exercise will be when you read something, walaupun ini hal-hal sepele gitu ya, misal you read a text message, yang chat yang cuma gitu doang, so try to convey it in another sentence, gitu, using another vocabulary, but with the same meaning, gitu. Lalu ketika kita membaca teks, any kinds of text untuk latihan ya, then you can try to tell others what the text is about. Gitu. Jadi latihan menyampaikan kembali. If you don't have any partner because you are online at home, so you can just try to tell yourself about what the text is about. Jadi latihannya seperti itu. Jadi kalau nggak punya partner juga di rumah ya just look at the mirror and tell the person in the mirror yourself about the text. And then author-related questions. Jadi bakal ada pertanyaan yang berhubungan dengan penulisnya. Gitu. Understanding specific information. Jadi akan ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan tentang info yang sangat spesifik, bukan menanyakan tentang main ideas kalau ini ya. Defining the topic, also the same. Topic and main ideas is quite the same. Bedanya kalau main ideas berupa kalimat, kalau topik berupa susunan kata-kata. And then finding contextual meaning, mencari arti secara konteks. So usually the questions will ask something which is not explicitly stated in the text. Jadi yang harus kita simpulkan sendiri. And then choosing true false statement. Jadi mungkin pertanyaannya berupa begini. The statements below are true based on the text except, biasanya ada yang kecuali apa, itu kan true false ya jadinya ya. And then predicting paragraph, this is also common, probably not common in school tests, but for reading test for UTBK, SAT, IELTS, TOEFL itu mungkin akan ada predicting paragraph. Gitu. So biasanya tentang terakhir akan ada pertanyaan. Setelah paragraf ini, writer akan membahas tentang apa. To answer these kind of questions, you need to pay attention on the last paragraph. Di situ akan ada ininya, tanda-tanda teksnya itu nanti akan membahas apa. So just focus on the last paragraph. And then summarizing the passage. Summarizing the passage, menyimpulkan juga ya. So how to do the practice for this one? The same. So just practice reading English text, then try to make the summary and tell the others about that. Selain bilang, boleh juga menulis. Ya, you can just write it down. Defining the purpose, tujuan dari penulisan itu juga kadang ditanyakan ya, untuk apa sih writer ini menuliskan tentang ini misalnya. And then referral questions. So this is like to refer to, usually asking about pronouns. Misal, the word she in paragraph 2, line 4, kalimatnya apa? Refer to, referring kemana gitu. Tapi itu jenis referral questions yang mudah. Kadang yang agak sulit itu referral questions yang menanyakan tentang satu fakta atau satu phrase gitu ya, itu agak lebih sulit. Misal, the writer talk about that a lot of time. Nah, that refers to, berarti kita harus lihat that-nya itu mengacu pada tema apa sebelumnya gitu. Itu agak lebih sulit daripada yang pronoun reference. Let's see the chat. Oke. Okay. Izin off cam karena sedang di perjalanan. Oke. Okay. Bu Iska will check your attendance. Jadi jangan absen kalau memang tidak hadir ya, beritahu teman-temannya. Kalau tidak hadir di TB Smart, so don't do the attendance, and also please turn on your camera because the monitor teachers will do your attendance based on that, whether you attend the class or whether you have your cameras on. Okay, so the 7 simple strategies to improve our reading comprehensions. Yeah. Okay, take a look. This one is taken from an article. You can also see the source at the end of the text. Now, comprehension is an important aspect of reading, of course. Like if we don't comprehend the text, what is it for? Yeah. So when you read, you should strive to understand and extract meaning for better awareness of what you are reading. Now, by learning and implementing reading strategies and changing how you read, you can improve your reading comprehension abilities and make reading easier and more enjoyable. Of course, when we don't understand what a text is about, it is very likely that we are not enjoying the reading itself. Memang betul, memaksakan diri untuk membaca sesuatu, menikmati membaca sesuatu dengan topik yang kita tidak tertarik itu very difficult. But then we need to to overcome that by building our own motivation, because like most people don't really like reading academic things, but then when you are doing tests, the text will be academical. Okay, so what is reading comprehension? Basically, it is the ability to understand what we are reading. So like the ability to understand or comprehend what we are reading. Like this is an intentional and active part of reading and takes place before, during, and after you read. Now, if it is before, like when you have a book, for example, yeah, like if you have a book and then things will come up to your mind, like what will it be from the text, for example, from the title, you're going to guess what it will be about. And then probably you're also asking what, if there's a picture there, you also, what is the relationship between the picture and also the title? So when you ask questions like that, it will also arouse your motivation in reading. Yeah. And then during reading, so we also have the to polish our analytical thinking. So just like asking questions on what happened in the text that we are reading, and then try to dig what it really is about. And after you read, so you can try to make the summary and also the conclusions of what you are reading, and then try to convey it to others, probably by writing it down or by saying it to another person next to you, close to you, or probably just to yourself by reading aloud. So like by comprehending what we are reading, we can extract the meaning from the text, and also we are going to realize what the writer is trying to convey. Itu. Jadi nggak akan sampai misleading gitu ya, nggak akan sampai terjadi salah paham gitu, apa yang dimaksud oleh penulis dan apa yang kita pahami. Now, why are reading comprehension skills important? Yeah, of course, you know the answer, right? Like being able to understand, analyze, and respond to documents and written communication in the workplace later, or in the school at the moment, or in your university later after you graduate from Taruna Bhakti. And then it will also improve your ability to write clearly and effectively, because when we read something, we also usually take notes on what we are reading. So it will be more effective and clear, more clearly, because we usually remember better when we write it down. Jadi proses mengingat itu akan lebih berhasil ketika kita not only reading but also take notes. Nah, akan lebih terikat lagi ilmu yang kita dapat kalau kita sampaikan ke orang lain. Gitu. And then the ability to comprehend and engage in current events that are in written form, such as newspaper. Jadi kita akan lebih up to date juga ya tentang apa-apa yang terjadi di masa kini. Increase the ability to focus on reading for an extended period. So the more we read, the more concentration we'll get. So like probably our concentration span now is only 15 minutes to read something or to listen to someone. But when you practice on reading, later your concentration span also will be extended. Better enjoyment and motivation to read. So the more we read, the better motivation will be. Now, the 7 reading strategies that we can use to improve our comprehension skills, later on, it will, help a lot in our effort to try to answer the reading questions in UTBK, will be this one. This is actually can be applicable to many kinds of reading comprehension skills untuk tujuan apapun ya, walaupun sekarang fokus kita pada bisa menyelesaikan soal reading comprehension dalam UTBK, misal itu dulu ya. So number 1, improve your vocabulary. This is very, This is place number 1 because it is urgent. I mean, like if we don't have enough vocabulary, it is quite impossible for us to understand a text. Yeah, so we need to improve our vocabulary. How to do this? Of course, by reading a lot. And then when you read, try to find the meaning of the words that you don't know in the dictionary. That's the only one. So we cannot just ignore the word that we find. You just scan the text and then try to understand it by yourself, ignoring the vocabulary that you don't know. So it's not a way to improve our reading skills. So improve vocabulary. Later we are going to discuss one by one. Number 2, come up with questions about the text you are reading. Jadi buatlah pertanyaan-pertanyaan ketika kita membaca sesuatu ya. And then use context clues. Now this is also applicable. Like if you have like if you want to try to build up your skills in reading comprehensions without, you can also try to use the context to find the meaning of the new vocabulary. Kadang-kadang vocab baru itu bisa kita tebak artinya dari konteksnya, kadang-kadang. It is not always happening, ya. Tapi bisa juga kita pakai konteks, lihat clues, konteks clues, nanti vocabulary-nya artinya apa bisa kita tebak. But for exercise, of course, it is better to also see in the dictionary what it is all about. Write a summary, look for the main idea, selalu cari ya, and then write a summary of what you read. Tulis summary-nya, ringkasannya, conclusion-nya, what is it about. Break up the reading into smaller sections, bisa ya dibagi-bagi. Pace yourself. Okay, pace yourself. This is already 5 to 2. Okay. Now the first one, improve your vocabulary. Knowing what the words you are reading mean, reading can improve your ability to comprehend the meaning of the text. To improve your vocabulary, you can, number one, take an online vocabulary quiz to assess your current level of vocabulary understanding. Bisa ngerjain quiz ya, online quizzes. And then use flashcards to quiz yourself on words you don't know once or twice a week. Using flashcards, itu bisa juga ya. And then make a point to use newly learned words in verbal and written communication. Bikin poin-poinnya. And then read as much as possible to improve your ability to guess what the word means in a certain context. Baca sebanyak-banyaknya. Make a list of unfamiliar words as you read and look them up in the dictionary. So basically, don't be lazy to look up in the dictionary. When you find a new vocabulary, jangan dilihat arti katanya itu cuma satu aja. Because in English, one word can have different meanings. And also you need to take a look at the type of words itself. Apakah ini kata sifat, kata kerja, kata benda. Karena nanti penggunaannya akan berbeda. Ya. And then the second one, come up with questions about the text you are reading. Come up with questions. Nah ini contoh-contoh pertanyaan mungkin yang bisa kita tanyakan pada diri sendiri when you are reading. Why did the author begin the book at the location? What kind of relationship these two characters shares? Are there any themes that have consistently come up throughout the book? If so, what do they mean? For example, like that. Bisa ditanyakan ya to yourself. And then use context clues. Using context clues is a great way to understand what you are reading, even if you don't know all the vocabulary being used. Context clues can be found in the words and sentences surrounding the word that you aren't familiar with. To use it, you can focus on the key phrases or ideas, and then you can try to conclude what it means. Yeah. Number 4, look for the main ideas. Identifying the main idea of a paragraph or article can help us determine the importance of the article. Understanding this is important because it can give us better comprehension of what the author is trying to tell us. When reading, pause every few paragraphs and see if you can decipher what the main idea is. Jadi kalau baca itu jangan dilabas saja gitu ya, jangan pokoknya mah langsung gitu. But you need to pause every now and then, try to absorb whether you comprehend what is the main idea of the text. Nah, and then try to put the main idea in your own words for even further understanding. Jadi kalau kita udah nemu main idenya apa, coba ucapkan dengan kalimat lain, tapi artinya sama. Try to do that. That's what we call as paraphrasing. Kita nanti akan latihan paraphrasing ya di pertemuan selanjutnya, insya Allah. Now, and then write a summary of what you read. Summary itu penting ya, making summaries. Now, a great way to increase our knowledge of what you have read is to write a summary. Summarizing requires you to decide what is important and put it in your own words. Now, it will determine if you truly understand what you have read and better remember what you have read in the long term. Now, like when you are making your own summary, in the long term, you are likely to remember what the text is about. Kalau kita sudah mencoba menyimpulkan, lalu menyampaikannya dengan kalimat sendiri, it will give you better understanding. Nah, akan lebih bagus lagi if you try to tell it to someone else. Karena ilmu itu akan makin terikat dengan diri kita ketika kita sudah menyampaikannya pada orang lain. Gitu. Ya. And then break up the reading into smaller section. For example, you could read 2 paragraphs at a time and then pause to quickly summarize what you just read in your mind. Breaking up what you are reading can help you feel less overwhelmed and give you a better chance of truly comprehending the information in the text. Break up in the smaller sections. Jadi kalau teksnya sulit, jangan langsung dibaca semuanya, but dibagi-bagi dulu tentang tema ini, berhenti dulu. So see whether you comprehend it completely, and then you go on after you decide that you have the ability to summarize the text that you are reading. Pace yourself. Pacing is also an effective way to work on your reading comprehension skills by allowing you to set realistic goals for your reading practice and also your reading habits. Ini terutama untuk buku yang kita anggap challenging gitu ya. Like for me, challenging materials will be about the one about politics. Itu challenging. Like I need extra time to comprehend it because once I read it, my mind wanders gitu ya. So but everyone will have different challenging type of text ya. So for example, rather than saying that you want to read an entire book in 2 days, say that you will read 3 chapters a night. So this will allow you to reach your goals and also provide adequate time for you to process what you are reading between each sessions. Pace yourself. Jadi kalau kita diberi target yang terlalu jauh, probably if you are not a good readers, usually not a good readers, probably you can give just setting more realistic goals. Misal, to me, reading a whole book can be done in 1 day if it is only 200-300 pages, gitu ya. Tapi kalau lebih dari itu, I don't have time for that. So probably you can have realistic goals like I will read 3 chapters a day, I will read 3 paragraphs a day. Tapi setiap hari harus ada. So starting from now, English text, any kinds of English text, you have your own practice. Sehari mau berapa paragraf, sehari mau berapa topik yang akan dibaca. So make your own pace. Now, the tips to make the most of your reading comprehension practice is the first one, eliminate distractions. Eliminate distraction, apapun yang bisa membuat kita teralihkan pikirannya. To me, for example, it will be cell phone. So cell phone sometimes distracts me. So that's why I don't put on vibrations or ringing for any kinds of social media or notifications. Gak ada yang saya aktifkan satupun di HP saya itu. Hanya telepon dan hanya telepon biasa yang aktif di saya itu. Kalau media sosial, notifikasi, chats juga enggak. Tidak ada yang dinyalakan. Otomatis ketika ada yang telepon via WA pun kalau saya nggak lihat enggak bunyi. So because I want to eliminate distraction. So you can also do something for to make you undistractable. Jadi kalau sudah mulai latihan membaca, coba disingkirkan hal-hal yang bisa membuat kita distracted gitu ya, jangan. Kalau biasa mendengarkan lagu supaya konsentrasi, itu juga dicoba untuk dihilangkan pelan-pelan, because later when you are doing test, you are not going to listen to any songs, pasti sepi gitu ya. Jadi biasakan tanpa ada musik juga. Read a book below your reading level. Nah ini salah satu tipsnya juga. For example, your reading level is in intermediate, misal ya, intermediate atau advanced. Nah, kadang-kadang kalau kita baca pakai level kita itu agak ada hal-hal sulit yang membuat kita akhirnya udahlah, kok susah, kok capek gitu ya. So try to read below your reading level. Kalau intermediate coba yang elementary dibaca, because it will be easy. When it is easy, when you know that you can nail it, you can understand the text, your motivation will grow. Jadi pelan-pelan dari yang di bawah level kita nanti beranjak ke yang lebih advance level gitu. Rewrite text to ensure understanding. Jadi kalau kita udah baca sesuatu, coba kita udah memahami sesuatu, baca lagi, dicek apakah benar atau tidak apa yang kita pahami. And then the last one, read aloud. Reading aloud incorporates both visual and audio learning into your reading comprehension practice. It also forces you to slow down and gives you more time to process what you are reading. Gitu. Sometimes when we have a lot in our mind, your mind is occupied by lots of things, kadang kita nggak bisa konsen juga. So if you are doing the reading practice by yourself, you can also try to read aloud. Karena nggak ada yang keganggu kalau kita lagi sendiri ya. So you can try read aloud because first it will make you focus on what you read. Karena biasanya kalau kita bicara, kita kan nggak begitu bisa dengerin orang lain ya. So probably when you read aloud, you don't also your mind also will focus on the text itself. Itu mungkin reading strategies, nanti kapan-kapan kita bahas lagi with another sources. Nah, sekarang kita ke latihan. Latihannya yang ini kelanjutan dari yang dulu. Let's see. Questions 6 to 8. 6 sudah belum ya? Ada yang ingat nggak? Prominent udah kelihatannya ya. Prominent. Number 8. Why have some claim that global warming a fabricated issue? Coba lihat teks yang ini. The text is about global warming. Yang ini teksnya kan. Bisa di-download di ruang di media belajar, di grup kelas TB Smart kelas 12. Coba ya di-download di sana. We are going to discuss this one. Prominent itu kan well known. Kita ke nomor 8. Fabricated issue. Why have some claim that global warming a fabricated issue? Ini nomor 9-nya ketutup. Tunggu. Kita akan bahas nomor 9 sampai nomor wait. 12. Cukup ya. Ada di chat box juga ya, untuk TB Smart Grade 12 for Students itu udah saya simpan di sana juga. Wait. Oke, karena keterbatasan waktu kita bahas ya. Kita mulai dari tadi itu ada kesalahan nomor ya, penomoran. Tadi udah saya share lagi di chat box. Ini nomor 8. Now this one, why have some claim that global warming a fabricated issue? Why? Which one is the answer? Anyone for number 8? Number 8. Okay, so number 8. Anybody would like to try? Ada? Rama Ananda, do you want to try number 8? Rama kemana ini?
Hadir, Bu.
Oke, nomor 8 apa Rama?
Di.
Dari mana dapat di?
From
Take a look at paragraph 4. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Thomas Carr calculated the rate of global warming between 1950 and 1999 as being 1.113 degree Celsius per decade. This was similar to calculated for this meant that an assessment done by the influential intergovernmental panel on climate change in 2013 showing that warming had slowed was no longer valid. Jadi ini artinya pemanasan global merupakan isu yang tidak benar. Gitu. So the correct answer for number 8.
It's
no longer valid. Number 9, ini waktunya sudah habis ya, jadi saya sebutkan aja jawabannya. Number 9, ini adalah which, pertanyaannya apa ini? Which of the following? This one, the answer is B for number 9. Number 10, B, the advantages of using ICT. And then 11, what is the author purpose? The answer is B. 12, by writing the sentences. The answer is D. 13, it can be predicted that it can be predicted C, the less meat you eat, the more you will feel drowsy. And then 14 about the best summary of the passage will be E, Indonesia's coffee growing. And 15, the last one, about what can be inferred, the answer is C. Okay, I'm gonna see you again in our next TBS.